Good evening, everyone. It's wine o'clock here at the WINEMAN's. Slightly messed makeup tonight. And tonight's wine, it's from Argentina. This is from Piattelli, who make amazing wines. This is their Tannat 2018 vintage. In this video, I'm going to tell you why Piattelli is such a remarkable grower and why this wine is fantastic and you should have it in your wine rack. So let's start with Piattelli. Their vines, based in various different areas in Argentina. This particular one comes from Cafayate, and it's 1,700 meters above sea level. That's really, really crazy high. So you get no nasty little bugs living up there because of the ravages of temperature. It goes really, really hot in the day, really, really cold at night. The sun exposure is ridiculous, and that means that the grape skins are incredibly intensely dark because they have to protect themselves from the ultraviolet rays of the sun. That means it transfers into a beautiful, beautiful, intense, rich colour in the wine. And we'll see that with this. Now, these wines are up to, I think the majority of them are 100 years old. So what that gives you is a young vine, loads of fruit. Not necessarily very, very good. Bit like the youth of today. Older vines, a little bit older, a little bit more mature, more suave and sophisticated, like my good self. Obviously, far more quality, much, much more intensity, but much, much less fruit. Because as we get older, we produce a little bit less, but we've still got that little bit of vigor that comes through. So that is what makes the Piattelli Tannat so incredibly good. So let's have a try of this wine and see what we have here. So Piattelli are always striving for the most sustainable wines that they can make. So they're certified organic as well, and they always look to use and utilize the local varietals that grow so well, such as Tannat and Malbec, or Cot, as it's often known in many areas. So as you can see, branded corks, very, very good. Let's pour the wine and let's have a look at how intense the colour is on this bad boy. Now, I know, because I've had this wine before, that this is going to be as black as your hat. Look at that. Look at purple. I mean, it's just, where am I? I'm gone. I've disappeared behind the wine. But there we are. Look how beautiful that colour is now with the nose. Okay, so what happens with this wine? They produce it and they pick it and they macerate it and they crush it and they ferment it. This is all done in stainless steel. Then they transfer it after that period of maceration and fermentation into oak casks for a period of, I think it's about 3 months. But these are third fill oak casks. Now, that means that that cask has been filled 3 times. What does that mean? So what? That means that the oak influence is not as intense as if it was a first fill. A little bit less as if it was a second fill, but once you're onto a third fill, what that does is it doesn't impart too much oak characteristic, but the oak does the great job of softening the tannins, adding just a little hint of flavour and a little bit of an interesting sort of background character. So this is a very, very powerful wine. I mean, you can smell the spice, you can smell the blackcurrant. It's almost got like a coffee chocolatey characteristic. Okay. The tannins, they're really quite ripe. They're very rich. It's almost chalky in the mouth, but it's not, because it then dissipates. And then the different characteristics come in, the different flavors come in. This is a lovely wine. Obviously, it's going to be good with a big, rich dish. You know, you can't put this with a bit of fish. It's just going to steamroller over it. You can't put it with chicken. You need a big stew. You need some Argentine steak. You need something that's going to stand up to this wine. Maybe a bit of venison at this time of year. Maybe some pheasant, maybe some grouse. This would be lovely with those particular things. Wouldn't put it with turkey or anything like that Christmas. It'll massacre the turkey. And it's a great thing to have if you want to just ease your way into lockdown, which is only a few days away. Lockdown number 2. God help us, we'll all be drunkards at the end of it. But hopefully you'll all be buying wine from me, and you can blame me for that. So hopefully you've had a good night. It's Sunday, and I am off to have a nice roast. Cheers.